Okay, we all know about Itel phones. They have been here for a very long time with its two brothers, that is Techno and Infinix. They are the smartphones that are leading the African smartphone market, particularly in Nigeria. Now, the Itel is not like the Techno and the Infinix. It's more of a very low budget phone. It brings device that it's mainly aimed for people who cannot afford the higher end Techno and Infinix phone, even the Galaxy, even the Samsungs and the iPhones. Now, there are particular things that are good about the itel phones, and there are particular things that are bad about the itel phones. So now, in this video, I will give you the reasons why people love itel phones and some reasons why people don't like itel phones. We call them the pros and the cons of smartphones. So for itel, here it goes. The pros are: number one, the Android Go edition. Now, I've made a video about the Android Go edition. The Android Go edition was brought to bring the power of Android to everyone. It's a low end part of the Android, is an optimized form of Android to go with phones with low processor, low mobile data usage. So now, the Android Go edition mainly work for phones that are of RAM 512 MB to 2 gig of RAM, and mainly itel phones work within the 1 gig of RAM range to 2 gig of RAM range. That is one of the reasons. Another reason is itel phones are associated with long battery life. Whether you are dealing with maybe the best of itel phones or the lowest of itel phones, you always notice one thing: itel phones are very good with battery life. Even though some will come with 2000 milliampere battery, whether it's 5000 milliampere battery, one thing you notice that if you are not a very hardcore phone user, your itel phone can take you throughout the whole day with 100% battery charge. Due to the nature of light here in Nigeria, you will notice once your itel battery is full, you can easily use it for a long time. Now, another feature is lack of bloatware. Now, particularly, I was having this bloatware. I think the only bloatware I've experienced on this my itel phone was a palm store, which was taking much things on the background, and I learned about it and I went to remove it. This bloatware, they run in the background, taking up your mobile data and slowing down your phone. So item phones really lack this bloatware. Then another feature is what I will show you now. Is called anti-freeze app freeze. Now this app freeze here, this app freeze is used to tie any apps that you are not using, any apps that you notice you have not been using from a prolonged period of time. You can use the app freeze to freeze them. Like now, if I go to KindMaster and I feel that I have not been using it for a long period of time, I can easily freeze it, and I can easily go back to unfreeze the KindMaster that I have freeze. Then the other pros of itel phone is presence of fingerprint sensor. Now, let me go to the fingerprint sensor and to show you how you can put the fingerprint. This phone might be a low-end phone of about 20 to 25,000 naira, but you can easily have your fingerprint on this phone. Now, I can't put my pin here, but I will show you how this works. This phone might be a low-end phone, but the as I was saying, you won't get many phones with fingerprint at this price. Sorry for the cutting short of the video. Now, another thing, the cons, the things that people don't like about this phone is: number one, it has low RAM and internal storage. That's one of the things. But this problem, I think, is countered with the Android Go edition. So you will mainly see itel phones with 1 gig of RAM, 2 gig of RAM, then very rarely 3 gigs of RAM. And their internal storage varies from 8 gig, 16 gig, 32 gig, and majorly these phones, they have low RAM and internal storage, but this problem can be combated by using external storage. You can usually use external SD card for your internal storage, and for the low RAM, the Android Go edition mainly solves this problem. Then another cons is inability to install certain apps. I've been having a problem with this one, with the inability to install an Adobe like device. So, and due to these issues, I've been having recent problems with it. Then another problem I'm having a cons is poor camera. Now, these cameras, they are certainly, the front facing camera is kind of good and the back facing camera is kind of okay, but compared to the higher end, these phones, their camera are not really good and it's like a lot of features. Now if you go, the front facing camera is 2 megapixel and the back facing camera is 5 megapixel, and the video quality is too not very good, although most of the videos I mainly use the back front facing camera with it, but that is okay. Then another thing is boring design. Now these phones, they don't particularly have the most interesting design. The design of the phone may not be too good, but averagely the average user will not think about it. But if you higher end somebody that is in love with the designs of phones, you will particularly not like the design of Itel phones. So having used these Itel phones for a long period of time, I have said I should give my own views pertaining how these phones look like. So thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next. Peace.